chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. And the important verse in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is text number 8. Actually, there are 4 verses which are important in this chapter, but I am taking one of those, first of the 4 verses, text number 8. Text number 8 to 11 are the key verses in this 10th chapter, and perhaps you can say it is the nucleus of the entire Bhagavad Gita. It is also called Chatushloki Gita. The entire Bhagavad Gita explained in 4 verses. We'll try to understand that. Ama jnana timirandasya jnana janashalakaya chakshuruminitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Parashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashyati Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, the 8th verse of the 10th chapter goes on like this. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. Translation of this verse. Krishna is saying to Arjuna, I am the source of all material and spiritual worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who know this perfectly engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Aham sarvasya prabhavaha. Krishna is saying to Arjuna, Aham means me, I, personal pronoun, Krishna is saying, referring to himself. Aham sarvasya prabhavaha. Prabhavaha means to create. Sarvasya, that means everything that is created, Krishna is saying, has its origin aham, in me. So aham sarvasya prabhava matta sarvam pravartate. Everything is coming from me, emanating from me. Iti matva, one who knows this truth about me, that I am the origin of everything and everything is coming from me, mattaha, from me. So iti matva, one who knows this truth, what will he do? Bhajante mam, will engage in my loving devotional service called bhakti seva. Buddha bhava samanvitaha. And who is the person who comes to this knowledge, who is fit to come to this state of realization, realizing Krishna as such? He is a person who is Buddha, very intelligent or wise. That means when you become a devotee of the Lord, recognizing Krishna as everything that be, as we discussed in the 7th chapter, Vasudeva Sarvam Iti. Now that is further being explained in this 10th chapter, how Vasudeva is everything. Vasudeva consciousness means Krishna consciousness. Meaning, everything we see is Krishna or Vasudeva. How? That's what this 10th chapter explains, how it is possible. How everything is Vasudeva. So, one who comes to this conclusion has become a wise man. Buddha. That means those who are not intelligent cannot come to this conclusion that Krishna is the origin of everything. Somebody knows this, he is the most intelligent, the wisest of all, according to Krishna himself. So Buddha, and being so intelligent and wise, Bhava Samanvita. He engages himself in my loving service with all his heart. Not officially, not as an obligation, not out of force, not as a matter of duty, but with a lot of love, with all their hearts, they render service to Krishna. So those who are devotees of the Lord, they are serving Krishna not officially, with all their hearts. Bhava samanvitaha. Samanvitaha means with full transcendental emotions and feelings. Feelingly they serve Krishna. Just like the Pandavas, feelingly they serve Krishna. Gopis, feelingly they serve Krishna. Mother Draupadi called out Krishna's name, Hey Govinda, with all feelings of devotion in her heart. You see? Bhava Samanvita. Happily they serve Krishna. Joyfully they serve Krishna. Not in a morose way, not out of some necessity, none of these things. So this is the state of consciousness required to serve Krishna. In that state one has attained spiritual perfection. So to come to this conclusion is not an ordinary thing. You achieve perfection of life, perfection of knowledge. Vasudeva para Veda, Vasudeva para Makaha, Vasudeva param tapaha. Like that Mother Kunti, in the Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami has described Vasudeva as everything. Vasudeva is everything. He is the Veda, he is the rituals in the Veda, he is the ingredients used in the rituals or in the fire sacrifice. He himself is the fire sacrifice. He is the goal of fire sacrifice. He is the mantra being chanted in the fire sacrifice. He is the chanter who is chanting the Vedic mantras. He himself is the Vedic hymn. So actually Vasudeva is everything. Krishna is saying, I am the origin of everything. You see? Srila Prabhupada explains this point very nicely in many ways. We will try to understand some of them. Prabhupada says, everything has got a cause in this world. But when you find out something which does not have a cause for itself, rather that is the cause of everything, that is God. Everything has a cause, but when it comes to a point where there is no more cause, that point here comes the point of Krishna. Krishna is the cause and the effect himself. When something is the cause and the effect of the cause, original cause and the effect thereof, that is God. So Prabhupada given as example. Just like you take myself, Prabhupada is saying, I am the effect, I am the son. I am my father, he is the cause. Just to understand what is this cause and effect. I am the effect of my father. My father is the cause of me taking birth in this world. So I am the effect, my father is the cause. Similarly, my father is the effect of his father or my grandfather. Then my grandfather becomes the cause of my father, who becomes the effect. Then further, if you go reverse engineering, further if you go back, my grandfather is the effect of my great grandfather, who is the cause. Let it you go, backwards. And his father, finally comes to Brahma, the creation of all the living beings in this world. Then if you see Brahma himself is created by Vishnu or Krishna. Then when you ask the question, so coming to this point, then Krishna or Vishnu becomes the cause and Brahma himself becomes the effect. And everything which Brahma has created becomes the effect. That means all of us. living beings. Then if you ask deftly, who caused Vishnu? No, the story ends there. Vishnu or Krishna is the cause of everything. He has no other cause. Therefore, Lord Brahma, realizing this, has composed what is called as Brahma Samhita, wherein he has said in every stanza, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Gajami. Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Lord Brahma has said, Anadi, the Lord has no origin, no beginning. Whereas everything else has got beginning, but the Lord has no beginning. So when you come to the point of finding out a source which has no beginning, that is God. Anadi. So he has no beginning, Adi, but he is the beginning of everything. Who is that? Govinda. So Lord Brahma is saying this Govinda. By his personal realization, Brahma is sharing. And therefore Brahma concludes, Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes. Material, spiritual, everything. He is the cause of all causes. That Govinda is the Adi Purusha. The Adi Purusha. Krishna says, Aham Sarvatya Prabhava. And the origin of everything, both material and spiritual. That means he is also the origin of Paramatma, Brahman, what most of the spiritualists, those who are pursuing spiritual life or self-realization, they want to realize God as supreme light, as per Brahman. That light is the effulgence coming from the spiritual effulgence coming from the body of Krishna or Vishnu or Narayana. So that Brahman, origin of the Brahman is also Krishna. Then Paramatma, if you see the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, it's called Purushottama Yoga. Krishna describes that this Paramatma is myself. He is my expansion in this world, who is residing in everyone's heart and in every atom of this created universe. The Lord is present in every atom as Paramatma, Super Soul, Purusha Paraha, and He is also present in every living being's heart, residing next to the soul, who is also in the heart. So that Paramatma is also Krishna's expansion. So therefore, Krishna is the origin of everything. That is the definition of God. What? That God is the origin of everything, He has no other origin. So Prabhupada then said in one place, uh, explaining this Sarva Karma Karanam very nicely in different ways. Once Prabhupada was eating some orange fruit, and that time one visitor, one scientist had come by name Malcolm, and so he told the devotees to give some fruit, orange fruit to him also. And Prabhupada also was eating one piece of the orange fruit. And then you see how Prabhupada is so wonderful and how his the explanation is so natural and very appealing. So he gave the orange fruit to the visitor and then he said, so do you taste this orange fruit? It's so tasty it is. So much of water, so much of taste. Immediately Prabhupada connects it to Krishna consciousness by saying, where from the taste of this orange fruit is coming? Where from the water in the orange is coming? Now you may say some chemicals, some citric acid, etc., and some more chemicals. But where from the chemicals have come from? Where from the citric acid has come from? Then you may give another explanation. Two more chemicals combined to form the citric acid. The where from that two chemicals came from? You see, this is the understanding of the cause and effect principle. So the orange fruit is there, it has got nice juice, nice taste. That's the effect. It has come because of common because of the entry of citric acid and some more sweetening agents. Good, beautiful color, is it? It's not color pigment. but it's got natural colors, not even food preservative category colors. It's natural colors which has no harmful effects on the body. Is it? Today we know preservatives, colors, additives we add so harmful for health. But Krishna has given a nice carob, which is chocolate flavor, got nice brownish color, nice texture. You can make chocolate cakes from there, make chocolate ice cream. You see, with orange fruit, it's got nice orangish color. Apple has got reddish color. Banana has got white color and yellow skin. All natural. You see. So where from this taste has come from? You may say from the earth. Sarva Kamdugamahi, this earth has got all the tastes, all the flavors, all the fragrances, everything stored in it. In the same soil. But then you try to analyze chemically the soil, you not figure out logically the taste. Can you extract taste and smell from the earth? You cannot. If you want to extract, do you have an instrument to extract taste from the earth? You eat plain earth, there's no taste. But then, from that very earth, orange is coming, from that very earth, apple is coming, banana is coming, all varieties of fruits, blackberry fruit, cherry, Kashmiri apple, all kinds of beautiful fruits are coming, tasty fruits are coming, and even host of vegetables are coming from the same earth, and host of grains and pulses and cereals are coming from the same earth. So many things. Fragrant flowers are coming. Parijata, Champaka, Lily, Mallige. See, so many extremely fragrant flowers are coming from the same earth. You may say earth has origin. But where did this earth come from? Like that you keep analyzing, analyzing, analyzing. Finally, it goes to beginning of creation. Where Lord Brahma created all the vehicles. That Brahma was supplied with all the ingredients by Krishna by the request of Brahma. So, uh, so we accept Krishna as the origin of everything. Because somebody must give the taste. Somebody must add the colors. Just like the other day I was watching a YouTube clip about one a person who was uh, supposed to be one of the best stylists in the world, and it is manufactured manually even today. Since 150 years, this person has been preparing varieties of tiles, largely made in his homemade factory, manually done. So he just like in cooking, somebody's got a good sense. He can add different flavors, different masalas, and bring in different varieties of tastes. You've got that sense. There are cooks who are so expert they can sense if I add this, what will be the effect? If I add that, what will be the effect? Similarly, there are artists who know if I paint like this, how it will appear. If I paint like that, how it will appear. There are architects who can conceive the building even before constructing the building, kind of visionary, so to say. Similarly, this clay tile manufacturer, an old man, he has a similar sense in adding colors, combinations, mixing, bring out varieties of tiles. So there must be somebody behind everything, right? So there's the orange fruit, there is somebody behind it, giving a taste, giving a color, making it juicy. Apple is hard, orange is soft, giving its hardness, giving its softness. Who's that somebody? Simply between just God. Coming to the water, Prabhupada further continued in a nice way. Just like we sweat, isn't it? When we sweat, if you collect the water, maybe some few grams you may get. But you can see the vast oceans of water. Where from they are coming from? And they're also salty. It tastes, isn't it? You know the oceans, they're salty. Just like you taste your perspiration, it is salty, right? Similarly, you taste the oceans, there is salty because it is the Lord's perspiration. So when you sweat, probably some few grams or some few ml of water you can produce. It will the Lord perspires. You can create oceans. Why not? What is the difficulty in understanding or accepting? When we are limited jiva, we have our limited capacity. The Lord is being unlimited, He has unlimited capacity. He can produce unlimited quantity. You can produce some chemicals in your body, Lord also can produce chemicals. You can produce small quantity, Lord can produce unlimited quantity. So this is the understanding. Then Prabhupada explains about the completeness of God from the Upanishad verse in one morning walk in Los Angeles. Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachite. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachite. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. So explaining this verse, Prabhupada explains the actual element is so complete. Here Prabhupada refers actual element as Krishna element, spiritual element. He's using a technical term. Krishna is a person, but giving a scientific touch to that because explaining it in terms of science, Prabhupada is using referring Krishna as an element, the original element, source of the original element. So the actual element is so complete that you take the complete from the complete, still it is complete. Even though many complete units emanate from the complete whole is Krishna, and complete units refers to so many things coming from Krishna. So many Brahmas, so many worlds, universes are getting created from Krishna. All the jivas originally are coming from Krishna. All material, spiritual, all the jivas, living, non-living, everything is coming from God originally. So, uh, complete units are coming from God, but still the Lord remains the complete balance. So Prabhupada gave a very nice example in this regard. How is this possible? In our normal experience, suppose you take one complete thing and then you cut it or you divide it, you distribute it, it is over. Prabhupada had a paper in his hand, he was trying to describe. Now this is a complete A4 sheet paper. Now suppose you tear it into two and then you further tear it again into two other halves. So one paper becomes two, the two becomes four pieces. Then further you cut it, it becomes eight pieces. Like that, you can keep cutting and then distributing. The paper is no more, right? That's the material understanding. That's the material understanding. But that's not the case as far as the Lord is concerned. You have a cake. One more example given. You have a cake and then you cut it into a few pieces, say eight pieces, and then you give to eight different people and they all eat, the cake is over. The cake is over. It's consumed. It is not that you have cut the one single cake into eight pieces and it is distributed, it is consumed, and still the cake remains fully. How is it possible? Correct. This is not the understanding. We are right. But that is not the case with the Lord. Even though complete units come from Him, the complete whole remains the complete balance. This is God. The Prabhupada says, how is it possible? Actually, it is possible. Prabhupada says, interestingly, he gives some good material examples in our own, from our own world. Like this touchstone, so called the philosopher's stone. The touchstone is there. Chintamani stone it is called. This Chintamani stone can go on producing gold unlimitedly. Yet it will not disappear, it will not reduce in its strength and composition and its identity. It remains complete, but it will go on producing gold. So Prabhupada says, it is there in your experience in this world. But even a material object is able to produce, give birth to so many things without itself diminishing in its identity. How much potent must be the Supreme Lord in producing so many things without He reducing in His identity, remaining undisturbed. The touchstone remains the same, doesn't change, doesn't reduce. One more example. Cool. And suppose you take a father, every year he gives birth to one or two children. In earlier days, they used to give birth to five children, six children, even sometimes 10 to 12 children. The father is one. Imagine from one father how many children he is able to generate, and he is still the complete. And complete units called his children have come from him. And simultaneously both are existing. Not that the father is finished because the son has taken birth. It's not like that. Sorry? So if even an ordinary father of this world can do that, how much can the Supreme Lord, with all his omnipotency, create unlimited things from him and yet remain complete in his identity? He is the origin of everything. Yet he remains the complete balance. One more example is given. It is this starfish. Starfish has got five hands. Sometimes it loses one hand. Sometimes. But it is said, even though the starfish loses one hand, it will produce four more arms for losing one arm. You see? So like that, there are so many material things which when one disappears, many things appear. One arm disappears, four arms are being generated. You see? There are so many such examples can be given. So materially we have an experience where even though one reduces, it can give rise to many other possibilities. How much can the Supreme Lord produce from him while keeping everything intact? One more example. This infinity number, as the mathematicians talk about, we accept, the entire scientific community accepts the existence of infinity number and we profusely use that in physics and mathematics, mathematical equations, and understanding the universe and the structure of the universe. Without this, you cannot even get into understanding the structure of the universe, as per the physicists and the mathematicians. So the digit infinity is very much accepted. Imagine a material digit of an infinity nature you accept. Then why are we not accepting the existence of an infinity living being? Also, when matter projected to infinity we are accepting, why not spirit projected to infinity? So this is common sense. You can say logical sense. Even matter can be projected to infinity, then why spirit can't be projected to infinity? And that infinity projection is God. The infinity projection of the living being is God. Unlimited being. Therefore, he is unlimitedly potent and powerful to do anything, which is inconceivable. Now, God is inconceivable because everything, if it is conceived, then just like there are different living beings in this world. We are able to conceive so many things in this world. Even we are able to conceive so many big, big projects, big, big things, going to space and so many things. Then there must be some difference between us and God. God is someone whom we can't conceive, whose intelligence is inconceivable, whose creation is inconceivable. If everything is conceivable, then what is the difference between me and God, me and Him? Why should I accept Him as God? Just like you accept someone the president of the country, why? Prime Minister of the country, why? He must have special traits which nobody has. Why do you accept somebody as genius? Why do you give some special award to somebody? Guinness records. Nobody cannot. Do not possess that trait, that quality, that attribute. Similarly, God means somebody who has not one or two attributes and not one or two inconceivable attributes. You got unlimited attributes and all of them being inconceivable. Such a person we accept as God, and that is Krishna, as our scriptures have declared. Krishna always declaring that. Every religion also accepts God as the origin of everything. Even Christian religion, Muslim religion, every religion, this point is made very clear. God is the origin of everything. So the details of that is there in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavad. Because God is the origin of everything, therefore it is very easy to meditate on God. Now this brings into a very practical situation. What is the practical application of this? There are many. We talk about universal love, which I talked about a little earlier in some of the classes back. When you understand God as the origin of everything, your universal love is immediately established. Then your universal vision of God is immediately established. People always ask, can I see God? Can I feel God? Can I touch God? Can I talk to God? Yes, very much possible. How do we meditate on God in a practical way? So there are different stages of meditating on God. Right now, there are different degrees of connecting with God, recognizing God, seeing God. Different levels are there. The entire 10th chapter talks about this. Even a common man can connect himself with God, can meditate on God. How? Whatever you see in this world is a creation of God. But you have to connect it with God. You cannot miss it. So, for example, Krishna says, Maharshinam Briguraham in text number 25, the 10th chapter. Maharshinam Briguraham Girami Asmi Ekam Aksharam Yajnanam Japa Yajyosmi Stavaranam Himalaya. We'll take 2 points from this. Maharshinam Briguraham. Krishna saying among all the rishis, great sages, Briguraham, I am Brigu. We all have heard of Brigu Muni, Brigu Rishi. Krishna saying among all the great sages, I am Brigu. So when we talk about Brigu, or we talk about any sage or a saintly person, sage means one who is very deeply thoughtful. He is called a sage. So, among all the great sages, Bhrigu is the principal sage, the topmost, the leader of all the sages. But I think I am that. So, whenever you see a sage, you remember Bhrigu. The moment you remember Bhrigu, you will remember Krishna. Because Krishna is saying, I am that Bhrigu. I am representing Bhrigu as the great sage. Whatever Bhrigu Muni is manifesting his greatness as a sage, that is me. So, this is the point. Hmm? It is described that when Lord Brahma was performing a sacrifice on behalf of Varuna Devi. From the fire sacrifice, Bhrigu Muni was born. And just some few things about Bhrigu Muni. It is said, it is a well-known fact. Bhrigu Muni was the ancient most anthropologist. He is the sage who thousands of years back has explained the science of evolution much, much before Darwin. So the theory of evolutionism is not new to the Vedic followers. Bhrigu Muni has explained it, expounded the science of evolution in a detailed manner. He has also explained how from ether, earth, water, fire, and air is generated. Till now, even modern science did not get a position to explain this. Bhrigu Muni explained how from ether, earth, water, fire, air is coming. You can read Bhrigu Samhita, Bhrigu's teachings to know this. Then, uh, he is also the author of Bhrigu Samhita, which is a great astrological science. The science of astrology is explained by Bhrigu Muni in a very scientific, mathematical way. So astrology is not a question of belief or myth. It is full of mathematical calculations of the different planetary positions and how they influence the living beings of this world based on their positions and movement, nicely discussed by Bhrigu Muni. Bhrigu Muni also has explained in a detailed manner about the astronomical evolutions. He has instructed Bharadwaj Muni about the science of astronomy, the structure of the universe. Then it is said that when during the fight between Bali Maharaj and his soldiers and Indra and his soldiers at one point, Bali Maharaj's soldiers, many of them died in the fierce battle between the Devatas and the Asuras. And there's a nice reference in the Bhagavatam. I'm sorry, this is not Bali Maharaj, this is Shukracharya. Shukracharya, when he saw that Bali Maharaj's soldiers and Indra's soldiers were fighting fiercely, and many of the soldiers of his side has passed away, by the signs of mantra, what is called as Sanjeevini. It's a very special kind of mantra utterances. Shukracharya was expert in this regard. But using this Sanjeevani mantra, he brought back the dead soldiers. Whoever head, trunk, and limbs of their body were complete, he brought back their life through chanting of the mantras using Sanjeevani technique. You see? So they were powerful, sages, brahmanas. Even Shukracharya represents Krishna. Because he was also a very powerful personality in this world. So Bhrigumani, I was trying to tell, another instance in case of Bhrigumani, that once in the sacrifice of Daksha, who is the progenitor of mankind, who has given birth to many, many living beings in this world. When we say given birth to living beings, it actually means giving the body, not the soul. Soul is coming from the Lord. So when Daksha is a Prajapati and is a leader, one of the prominent leaders of the universe. So there was a sacrifice which he performed, and in which he didn't invite Shiva, and that led to some kind of misunderstanding between Daksha's daughter and Daksha. Daksha's daughter is named Sati, and Sati became upset that Shiva was not invited. Yet she went to the sacrifice, and she was not respected much, and then she was very unhappy, and there was a lot of disturbance. Sati had come with the assistance sent by Lord Shiva for her protection. So when the followers of Lord Shiva saw that Sati was not respected properly, then they were very unhappy. Sati eventually committed suicide. She voluntarily entered fire and ended her life because she thought, if my husband, Lord Shiva, who is also a very, very important, powerful personality in the universe, is not being respected by another important person, my own father, Daksha, there's no meaning in me containing this body when my husband is not being respected. And then she said that if you think that this body has come from you, my dear father, I give this back to you. And that's how she entered fire. And then she ended her life. So when the followers of Lord Shiva saw this, they were very disturbed and very upset. And then they uh, got into a big fight with the followers of Daksha. So that's the context here. So while people were talking among themselves about the wonderful voluntary death of Sati, the attendants who had come with her, prepared themselves to kill Daksha with their weapons. Because they were so upset with Daksha. Because Daksha ill-treated Sati, she committed suicide. Which is so sad. For no mistake of hers. So they came to attack Daksha and Daksha's followers. Because the attendants thought, we are going to protect Sati. And if we can't protect Sati, what is the point in we living? We are living for our master, Sati, our mistress. But when she is not there, how can we continue to live? So before we die, they thought they want to kill Daksha. It is the duty of the attendants to give protection to their master, and in case of failure, it is their duty to die. So they thought it is better we die. But before we die, let us cause the death of the person who caused the death of our mistress. So they came forcibly towards Daksha. Bhrigu Muni, realizing the danger awaited, which is awaiting Daksha, immediately he chanted mantras and offered oblations into the southern side of the sacrificial fire. And uttering some mantras from the Yajur Veda, he could counter the power of the opponents and that way save Daksha. So while Bhrigu offered oblations in the fire, immediately many thousands of devatas took birth by name Rubus. Thousands of devatas took birth. And these Rubur devatas, they all attacked the supporters, the bodyguards of Mother Sati, and they all defeated them. So what I'm trying to say here is they achieved strength from Soma. These Ribu demigods achieved strength from Soma, being produced from the sacrificial fire. So the point is like this Bhrigu, such a powerful personality. So the moment you remember Bhrigu, you may remember these pastimes and connect it to Krishna because Krishna is that power. Just by chanting mantra from the Yajur Veda, just by offering it into the sacrificial fire, so many thousands of powerful demigods are produced who would counter neutralize the followers of Lord Shiva from their march to kill Daksha. The Shukracharya described how we could bring dead people, soldiers, back to life. Sometimes it so happens in the battlefield there is akal mrityu. Sometimes there is a death which happens before one's normal allocated time. In such cases, by chanting Vedic mantras, you can bring back life. So that's what Guru Muni do. So, but these are not ordinary feats. It was a lot of power and tapasya shakti, sadhana, and perfection in mantra siddhi. Mantra siddhi is called perfection in chanting mantras from the Rig Veda and from the Yajur Vedas. So Dhukaracharya is another name is Ushana, he is another such powerful person. So like that, that also represents Krishna. Then finally I'll talk about Himalaya. Stavaranam Himalaya it says here. You see, Himalaya also represents God. The moment so people go for excursion, picnic to Himalayan ranges. Rather, at least next time when you go to, Himalayan ranges, you remember this verse from the Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter. Stavaranam Himalaya, text number 25. Krishna is saying, whenever you see Himalaya, you should know that Himalayan ranges is Krishna. The greatness of Himalayas, so nicely described. It is said that there are about 50 major mountains in the Himalayan region, and all of them exceeding 7,200 meters. You can just imagine the vastness of Himalayan range, which is hosting these 50 great mountains, exceeding 7,200 meters or 23,000 plus feet. And it has got about uh, uh, 14 major peaks, and 10 of them uh, about 8,000 meters high, 8,000 meters high, and all of them in Asia. And outside Asia, the highest peak is in Andes. It is about 6,961 meters. Can you imagine the extent? And this Himalayan range is spreading to 5 countries: Nepal, India, Bhutan, China, and Pakistan. Of course, the major portion is in Asia. The first 3 countries, Nepal, India, and Bhutan. And some of the world's major rivers like Brahmaputra, Ganges, Indus, they're all from the Himalayan ranges. And it is said the third largest deposits of ice and snow in the world is in the Himalayan ranges, only after uh, the Arctic and Antarctic regions. The Himalayan range encompasses about 15,000 glaciers, which is storing about 12,000 kilometer cube volume of fresh water. In other words, 3,000 cubic miles of fresh water it is containing. So why I'm doing all these things is just to appreciate the vastness and the glory of Himalayan ranges. Whenever you see this, you should know that that is Krishna. So like this, Krishna is saying so many things in the 10th chapter. In our practical experience, we are seeing so many, we are seeing snakes, we are seeing powerful kings, powerful soldiers. Krishna think he's represented in all of those powerful things. You are seeing so many stars. Among all the stars, the moon is the bright star. And Krishna is saying, I am that moon among the stars. You are seeing the sun, the moon. Krishna saying, I am also that. So like this, there are many ways to meditate on God. So whenever you come across these objects, you should know that you should remember Krishna. Similarly, this Ashwatha tree, banyan tree, which is supposed to be a very virtuable tree in India, very holy, very pure, used in all yagnas. Hmm? It's very special, this banyan tree. So whenever you see this banyan tree, you can remember Krishna because it represents Krishna. Then we worship so many devatas. Krishna is saying, Devarshina Narada. Among all the devatas, the prime devata is Narada. Krishna is saying, among all the demigods, I am Narada. So whenever you worship or come across a devata, Ganesha, whoever it may be, among all the devatas, Krishna is saying, I am Narada, the foremost of all the devatas. You see? Then you see so many kinds of weapons, guns, AK-47, so many things, isn't it? Different kinds of bombs, weapons, weaponry. Krishna is saying, Ayudanam Aham Vajram. Among all of them, I am Vajra, the thunderbolt which Indra is carrying. So whenever you see a weapon, you can remember Krishna, but not meant for destruction. Everything has got its own right purpose. Similarly, Krishna is saying, among all the serpents or snakes, I am Vasuki. In this region, we worship the snakes. So actually, the chief of all the snakes is Vasuki. So whenever you see a snake, you should remember Krishna, represents Krishna. So where is the question of missing God anywhere in our life? Interestingly, Krishna is saying, among the Daitya demons, Asuras, I am Prahlada, devoted Prahlada. Prahlada's Chasmi Daitya now. Krishna is saying, even among the Asuras, Krishna is saying, I am Prahlada. So there is no question of missing God in our life. In this way, you can meditate. You can read these verses in the 10th chapter, entire 10th chapter. You will get many, many such examples given by Krishna. Not examples, rather, the actual facts. How you can connect with Krishna, actually, not sentimentally or fanatically. We say God is great. How great is? The Gita is described. So, like this, we can fill our day with Krishna consciousness. Any active principle working in this world, see, microphone is working, mobile is working, the active principle is God. You can meditate on that. Or you can ask us, we can try to explain it in a more detailed way. You can also meditate. The active principle in everything is Krishna. Stop here. Thank you.